Hello everybody. You should be watching this video on Tuesday, January 4th. Sorry that we're not together in person right now, but that's kind of the way the world works. So we are starting a new unit today. We're starting chapter 10, which is largely about different types of angles, but more specifically involved with circles. So here are 3 problems that I want you to take a look at and see if you can remember from earlier in the year how you would calculate these angles X, Y, and Z. So take a moment to think about that. You can pause the video for a second if you need to, and then we will talk about how you calculate those in a moment. So the key idea here is that all of these angles are central angles. They are all located at the center of the shapes. If you look at the first angle or the first shape there with the X and then the last one with the Z, those are regular polygons. And so that means that the angles are going to add up to be 360 and they're going to be equal to each other. And then even the circle is going to add up to 360 as well. So here's the answers for all of them. So the way that I calculated these was I did 360 and divided by 5 to get 72, since this pentagon would be split up into 5 equal angles. The middle one, I knew that this angle was 90, so I did 360 and subtracted 90 to get all the way around that way. And then for the last one here, I did 360, and this time I counted to see how many sides there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. So that means that I did 360 divided by 8 to get my answer. All right, now that it is January, you should definitely be thinking about getting a graphing calculator for our class. The ones that I recommend are TI calculators. So either a TI-83 or a TI-84. You can definitely look for deals online, so places like Amazon or eBay, or even just asking an older sibling, an older relative, something like that, maybe even a neighbor who doesn't need a graphing calculator anymore is a great way to go. Used is just fine. They're definitely cheaper if you buy them used. And kind of our goal date for that is going to be Monday, February 7th. Today we're going to talk about a lot of different circle vocabulary. Eventually we'll get you a note sheet that covers all of these terms, but these are the vocabulary terms that you need to know for the work you're going to do today. So first of all, I've got this line here in red, this line segment that goes from A to B. You probably know the name of that. That's a radius. The next one that we're going to look at is from A to C. So it's going through the center of the circle, just like the radius did, but it's going the whole way across. That's the diameter. And now we're going to look at some different arcs. So arcs are around the edge of a circle and the outside of the circle. You can see that we've got this arc here from A to B. This is called a minor arc, and the reason that it's called a minor arc is that it's less than halfway around the circle. If we go farther around the circle, this is going to be called a major arc. So this is a major arc. It goes more than halfway around the circle. And you can see that to designate that it's going kind of a longer distance, we're using A, B, C. So that means we're starting at A, going through B, and then ending at C. All right, here is the next one. This relates to the warm-up that we did today. So this angle in the middle here, just like it would be for a polygon, it's called a central angle. And here's what you need to know about central angles. We're going to look at how central angles and their arcs, their corresponding arcs, are related to each other. So in this particular diagram, we know that the central angle here is 110 degrees. And we are going to try and figure out how big the arc is that goes along with it. So that the arc that we're looking at is going from A to C. There's only 2 letters here for AC, so that means it's going to be a minor arc. It's going to be the short way around the circle. And the key thing for you to know is that the central angle and its corresponding arc are the exact same size. So this arc from A to C here is 110 degrees. Okay, so now we're going to do some practice problems where we're going to try and identify how big some angles and arcs are based on this picture. So one thing for you to note here is that we've got a regular pentagon. So A, B, C, D, E is a regular pentagon. If you think about that, then angle EFA that we're looking at here is going to be a central angle. And we know that for central angles, we're going to do 360. And then for this one, we'll divide by 5 since we've got a pentagon. So we're going to get 72 degrees for that. So not only is angle EFA 72 degrees, but really all of the angles at the central angles there are all 72 as well. So next, let's see if we can figure out how big angle BFD is. So if you think about where BFD is, here's B, here's F, here's D. And so we go from B to F to D. We're going to combine these two angles together. So that's going to give us 144. The next one that we're going to try to figure out is an arc, so ACD. So we're going to be starting at A, going the shortest way we can to C, and then ending at D. We're going to try to figure out how big that big arc is around the outside. So the key idea here is that all of those central angles and their arcs are the same size. So they're all 72 degrees. So we're going to combine these 72s together, and we end up with 216. Okay, next on the list is a new vocabulary term. So this is another angle, but you can see this time A is not at the center of the circle. Instead, it's on the edge of the circle. So when that angle is on the edge of a circle, it's called an inscribed angle. There's a different relationship between inscribed angles and their arcs, and we're going to look at that now. So we've got an angle here, an inscribed angle here, that is angle BAC. We're going to try to figure out how big the corresponding arc is for that. So if we're talking about angle BAC, the corresponding arc there is BC, and the relationship between an inscribed angle and its arc are that you have to double the angle to get the arc. So if I double 30, I get 60. Okay, so now we're going to see if we can figure out how big angle DAC is. So I'm going to go ahead and connect DAC together. You can see that I also added in here how big the arc from D to C is, which is 110. So if we work backwards, instead of doubling the 110, we're actually going to divide it by 2 this time. So if I do 110 and I divide by 2, I get that 55 degrees. So inscribed angles are always smaller than the arc. The next one we're going to look at is arc AD. So we're going to try to figure out how big arc AD is. Now you'll note up here it says that AC is a diameter of the circle. So if you think about going halfway around a circle is going to be 180 degrees. So looking at going from A to C here is going to be 180. So that means that this arc all the way around is also going to be 180 total. So if I do 180 minus 110, I'm going to get that arc that's left, which is 70. Okay, next on the list is arc AB. So we're going to use sort of similar thinking for this. We know that AC is the diameter of the circle, so halfway around the circle is going to be 180. If we already know that this arc over here is 60, we got to figure out what's left to get to 180, and that would be 120. Okay, so here are 3 practice problems for you to try. I'd like you to pause the video, and then after you figure out A, B, C, and D, you can play the video to check to see if you got the answers right. All right, so here are the answers. You can see that a couple of these are central angles. This angle right here is a central angle, and this angle right here is a central angle. So that means that their arcs match. They're the same size. whereas these other two angles here are inscribed angles. So that means that the inscribed angles are half the size of the arc. So half of, or the angle's half the size of the arc. So for the 35 degrees, we're just doubling it to get 70. Whereas for this one, angle D, we're actually doing 47 and dividing by 2 in order to get the angle. The angle is always smaller than the arc for inscribed angles. Okay, one more set of practice problems for you to try. Again, I'd like you to give these a try, pause the video, and then when you're ready, you can play and check your answers. So here are the angles. This first example, we've got an inscribed angle, so that means it's half the size of the arc. Same for the second one. The inscribed angle is half the size of the arc, so 41 is half of 82. Part C, there's a few different steps to take here. If you look, we've got, this is a diameter of the circle, so that means that halfway around the circle is going to be 180. Then to figure out how big y is, if you look at this 78-degree angle, that's an inscribed angle, so I just double it in order to get this 156. And then finally, to figure out what z is, I'm doing 180 minus 156 to figure out what's left to get around halfway around the circle this way. For part D, I've got a central angle, which means that the arc is the same size. And then this inscribed angle that goes along with it has to be half the size of it. So half of 56 is 28. For E, angle X is the central angle, so it's the same size as the arc. Whereas Y is an inscribed angle, so the inscribed angle is half the size of the arc. And then on F, both of these happen to be inscribed angles. So they're both half the size of the arc. So the 28 that's already there matches what y is. They're the same size. And then I just double it to get 56. All right, everybody. That's it for today. Central and inscribed angles are kind of your main focus. Now I want you to give the homework a try. Have a great day.